Okay, ready? Here. Here we go to start the show. Fingers crossed this works. And I hope it works. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our official Big Brother Canada 4 weekly recaps every night, Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern with myself and Dana. If you guys are watching in YouTube, you can click on these buttons down here, thumbs up and subscribe. That really helps support our shows. iTunes 5-star rating and a nice review is awesome too. Lastly, if you want to help support our shows, keep us bringing you guys new content, consider becoming a patron. YourRealityRecaps.com/patron. You get access to the patron group, shows only for patrons, but most importantly, it keeps us alive. But look, you guys know why you are all here. We want to talk Big Brother Canada 4, and who else better to do it than our Dana and Johnny from last season. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
Super excited.
Johnny, I want to start with you. Actually, Johnny, before we do anything, even though it is right below you, but tell the people where they can find you on social media.
So you can find me on Twitter at Colatruglio, and it should be up on your screen on how you can follow me. I do post spoilers because I do watch the live feed, so be aware of that, people, if you are going to follow me, that I do post that kind of stuff, so just be careful.
Okay, Dana, where can everybody find you?
DGoodyear1975. I really need to change that handle, but I keep being scared to do it, so it's way too long, but DGoodyear1975, that's where you can find me.
Okay, that is where we can find you guys. Now, let me just start by saying, Johnny, how have things been since we saw you last, before we talk about this season?
So things have been pretty crazy since, I can't believe it's almost been a year now since I moved into that house. Like 2 weeks from now, I was being whisked away into sequester for Big Brother Canada 3. So it's so crazy that here we are a year almost later, and we're taking a look and we're going to make assessments on these new house guests who have been patiently and anxiously waiting to move into that Big Brother house, which might be happening right now, just for those watching. Yeah, things have been crazy. I've got back to my normal day-to-day routine in life, back at work and things like that. Vito, the dog, is doing great. He's currently at my mother's place right now because my place may have flooded a little bit. I kind of had a hot water tank explosion, and, you know, if only you guys could have had cameras in my condo to experience the pandemonium that ensued when I came home from work to find water everywhere. It was quite dramatic, let's just say. But things have been great. Things have been amazing. Winnipeg has been fantastic. The support and love is still coming in from everywhere, so I couldn't be happier.
Wow, did your pipes freeze? Did they freeze or not freeze?
It wasn't a matter of freezing. Literally, the hot water tank just exploded and water was everywhere. Like, it went through the walls, it ruined all my hardwoods and carpets. It even went through the floor into the unit below me. And it was like dripping through the light, Big Brother Canada 3 style, like when we flooded the HOH bathroom and it came down into the kitchen. I don't know if people saw that, but that happened. That was happening below me. So
We saw. Don't worry.
Oh. Dana, look, a chat room, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. As you all know, because you guys watch 5 nights a week, you now has all changed, and I'm trying to do the technical over here. I'm trying to work on getting Johnny big. So really, I'm just stalling until I have it done. Dana, well, I'm doing that, and I should only need 2 more minutes. What have you been doing since we've seen you last?
Watching The Bachelor, because I think we saw me last, 5 weeks ago, when we did The Bachelor, when I was on You Now for The Bachelor. So yeah, I've been watching The Bachelor, watching that batshit crazy go down.
And Johnny,
waiting for the next batshit crazy to start.
And Johnny, you were a fan of Bachelor and Bachelor too, aren't you?
Yes, I love The Bachelor. I especially love Ben. Oh my God, is he ever gorgeous? The things I would love to do to Ben.
Eric's not a fan of Ben.
What?
No, sorry.
Bye, Eric, bye.
We're just going to drop him from the call right now.
Here, I'm going to put Johnny here. Wait, I think I got it. Let's see. Ready? Boop. Everybody switch places. Yay, finally, Johnny's big. This is good for the moment. Whew, that's what everybody wants to see is you big. I'll work on everything else in a minute. Okay, so many people in the chat room right now. Johnny's big. Yes. Yes, he is. Oh, that Ben, Dana, who will he pick? Water tank busting is always a huge mess. All right, look, we don't want to talk about water tanks bursting and Bachelor. You guys are all here for Big Brother Canada, so let's start it off. Dana, I'm going to throw it to you. I'm going to throw it to you to start it off, Dana.
Okay, first I'm just going to say today I kind of went down memory lane because it's Flashback Friday, so I watched my past assessment of Johnny's season, and I was dying. I'm just like, oh my gosh, because, like, I feel so bad. Like, I didn't say anything bad about you, Johnny, but I was just kind of like, meh, Johnny. But, I mean, we're going off of pieces of paper and, like, a 1-minute bio. So, yeah, meh. But, I mean, first week I was in love with you, and the rest is history. So, we're going to start off with...
For everyone when we're talking today is we're truly going off of just a few snippets of the bio videos and the written up text. And I mean, having been there in these house guest shoes a year ago, those bios, they really amp you up for them. And I mean, some people, you feel the pressure to say what you think people want to hear, possibly. So I can tell you that these house guests are not being true to themselves and true to the characters that they're going to actually be once they get into the house. So today's assessment, at least from my perspective, it's truly only going to be based on that first impression of them, and not what they're going to become, because I mean, I'm live feeders just like all of you guys. So I'm going to be watching them minute in, minute out, and I'm going to have different impressions, I'm sure, within the week, you know?
Exactly. And I mean, I've experienced it myself where I've been like, oh my God, this guy's a douche. I don't like him. I don't like how he's playing the game. And then you kind of meet them outside and you're like, oh my God, he's like the nicest guy. So don't hold us to what we say here. But yeah, we're going to start with Cassandra.
Okie dokie. Cassandra. So here we go. We're talking about our lovely little Cassandra.
She's a hot bit of sexiness. What's concerning about Cassandra in the future of our country is the fact that I think she only voted for our prime minister because he's hot.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Wrong with that.
She confuses me. She's all about strategy, and then she's like, I bring nothing to the house except my push-up bra. I'm like, I don't know what to think of this one. I don't know. Help me, Johnny.
Here's the thing. Cassandra is a Winnipeg girl, so she's from my hometown.
So you have to like her.
Instant support for her right off the hop. I'm super pumped that we have 2 Winnipeggers in the house this year, which is fantastic, Cassandra being one of them. And another interesting for everyone to know is that there's actually a family connection between me and Cassandra. My cousin is friends with Cassandra, and they hang out, and they're friends. So I got a message pretty much immediately once the cast was released from my cousin being like, holy shit, Cassandra, my friend, is in the house. And I was like, no way. Like, as if. So, what do I think about Cassandra? She's interesting. She's big personality, for sure. Very bubbly, very likable. Gorgeous, might I add. And she's got some bomb going on there. That picture from the backside there, holy. So the guys are going to be all over her, for sure. Yeah, you know, she is interesting, and she's a little conflicting. She says she's going to be this strategist, she's going to play the game, etc. However, at the same time, she says she doesn't bring anything. She is not very smart, and she doesn't cook, and she, you know, is not very physical either. I mean, like, again, is it this, she's just playing it up for the camera, and she's throwing out some buzz lines type thing? I don't know. I think there's more to Cassandra there. Having talked to my cousin and some of her friends about Cassandra, She is a very well-liked person. She is out and about in Winnipeg. Lots of people know her here. So I think she's a very popular and likable person, and I think that is going to benefit her in the House. If I had to take a guess, as long as she doesn't rub anyone the wrong way right off the hop, I could see her at least getting mid-game very easily without doing very much. She doesn't even really have to play or do much to get herself there. As long as she can stay away from the me, and being, over the top about herself and being a little bit of a narcissist, which, all Big Brother house guests are, she should be okay. She should be able to get through that first part of the game.
She also says that it's Big Brother and it's not the honesty game. So we know she's willing to lie, cheat, steal, stab people in the back. So, she wants a showmance like John and Netta. So not so much a showmance as in it's a romance, but it's a guy and a girl kind of like best buddy.
Yeah,
thing going on.
She's a social media strategist, or at least that's the title that she's going.
But then she said she worked at a car wash, or a car dealership. So
apparently, from my end, she works at a car dealership in their PR department. So she does online stuff, online promotion. So she is all about social media, and apparently, a lot of her friends and family pretty quickly noticed when she got sequestered that she disappeared from social media, and apparently she's very active on social media. So that was a red flag for a lot of people around here who were like, oh, where did she disappear to all of a sudden? That, I think, is going to be, and we should note this, especially when it comes to her biopack, because she knows these videos are going out there and are going to be the first impression. So I think maybe some of the things she's saying are very strategic in that sense, trying to get that likability factor, trying to say those things that are funny, the push-up bra line. That is pretty funny. She could be gold in the diary room. I truly believe she could be gold in the diary room.
Do you think she could be our Sabrina for this season, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know if I think there's others that might be the Sabrina. But maybe. She could rub people the wrong way. And it really truly depends on how much lying she plans on doing. One of the criticisms of Sabrina from past house guests is she lied through her teeth basically 24/7, and that she lied so much that she believed it. I've never met Sabrina, and I actually rather loved watching her, and she was very enjoyable to me. So, I don't make a judgment call on people based on what others say. I kind of base what I think about them on my own. But, I like Sabrina. She was a likable character, and she was great to watch on TV.
Yeah, I think that clip of her on the patio going, you want good TV? I'll give you good TV. That will be like the infamous line forever for Big Brother Canada.
The cookie scene. I only ate one burnt cookie. That was the best.
Big Zilla in the chat room talking about Cassandra says, I find her to have no substance at all. She loves being on camera. She seems like a middle ground player and is worthless.
Whoa!
And Big
shady.
And Big Zilla hasn't even seen her play yet. Let me also tell you guys this. Tweet us any questions you have with hashtag YRRLive on Twitter. You can really tweet it to any of us, and I'll grab it, and I can pull those up during the show as well. Miss Don Draper in the chat room says she likes Cassandra, I'm going to go with she says she likes Cassandra. And Tracy Lara says, why is Canada better than playing in the U.S.? But we'll get there at the end. We'll talk about that at the end. Anything else, Cassandra, about Cassandra?
No, unless you want to add something. You think she's gonna think she's got a big butt or what? I don't know.
I said she looked like a MILF. I didn't read any of their bios. I just said MILF. I just looked at them.
MILF? She's like 22.
All right.
The baby.
Well, okay.
No, Christine is the MILF. Christine, the one we're coming up to next, is the MILF.
Well, there's Cassandra, chat room. You can make your own decision.
Look, than 22, that's for sure. I'll give you that.
With which
there's
Christine.
Cassandra looks older than 22.
Oh, yeah, definitely looks older than 22, 100%.
Okay, so now we're looking at Christine. She is 47.
Mm-hmm.
From British Columbia, housekeeper. Yeah, I don't know if she's the mom of the group. Like she said something in her bio pack about swearing on her children, but didn't really like. I don't think she didn't mention in any other thing that she's got kids, so I don't know if she's actually a mother or if that was just a saying or whatever. But she plans to just kind of fly under the radar, cook, clean, keep everybody happy. She doesn't want to be an alliance. She kind of wants to go pull a Godfrey, which I think only Godfrey can ever do. I don't think that game can ever be recreated on any kind of scale, especially like an older woman. So I don't know. What do you think of her? Like, she wants a fake showmance. I mean, she's 47 and everyone else is like
babies.
Yeah, I mean, unless she wants Joel, who's like 33, like they're all way, like this kind of icky-ish.
She was the one who said if I could take anything in the house with me, I'd take multivitamins.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes.
Like, so she's filling that older role that token older person that we see go into the house. Yeah, she's kind of that mom character. And, you know, does she have kids or not? I think she does. That's sort of yet to be seen. I'm sure we'll figure that out pretty quickly. She almost seems like the mom that's trying too hard to be cool. You know what I mean? She wants to be her kid's best friend, and she wants to be friends with her kids' friends. And I think she's just going to try so hard, and I think she'll flop. I think, unfortunately, she might have a hard time really getting in with the younger crowd. They're going to have a hard time relating to her. Yeah, the multivitamin comment, for some reason that just gives me flashbacks of Risha. Risha brought in with her, and this is hilarious, and she will admit this, Risha brought in with her own coconut oil. That was one of the things in her bag was coconut, a big jar of coconut oil.
They let her bring that in?
They let her bring that in. So it really truly reminds me of Risha. She was also, Risha didn't use deodorant. She used some sort of crystal that she rubbed on her underarms. I don't know. So this woman.
Did it work?
Yeah, I don't. Well, Risha was there for 6 days, so I mean, we didn't really have to deal with her for that long. This woman is going to have a hard time. The comment about the showmance is like you said, it's like, yeah, these kids are 21 and 22. No one's going to be interested in a showmance with you. The flirting is not even going to work. It's not like she has a rack like Risha had that she can kind of show it off and get people's attention. I mean, she is a very pretty lady, don't get me wrong. I think she just lacks substance. And for her to go in there and say that she wants to have the game without an alliance, like you said, Dana, that's only a Godfrey move that will never be able to be replicated again. And she's foolish if she thinks that that's going to get her anywhere past a week or two. And I think she's gonna be a potential first week target. Unfortunately, the older house guests happen. It's just history shows that they become early targets because they just don't mesh well with the other house guests.
Yeah, unless she wins an HOH, I don't really see. Yeah, I don't know. Like, unless she can clean like crazy and just not, people forget she's there. I don't.
You know,
if you had someone cleaning up after you in the house, would you just be like, she can stay for a little while? Like, would you be okay with that? Like, if for sure we're cleaning the house around you, would you be like, no, she's good?
I mean, like, Risha was one of those people who was cleaning the house. Certainly. I mean, I was one of them too. I think it's, more mature, older, have some sort of sense of pride in where you live and whatever. At the same time, Risha rubbed people the wrong way when it came to cleaning. If things were out of place or they didn't put the cup back properly, she'd snap at you. And I mean, unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see the feats with her because week 1 was a gong show with Risha. And I could see this lady rubbing people the wrong way with the cleaning. Like, you didn't put the cup back in the right place, and totally just biting people's heads off,
And that is why I cannot play Big Brother, because that would be me.
It would be me too, because I'm okay with like the living room being a mess. You guys in your bedroom, I'm sorry, but I couldn't. The bathroom, I was having a very big issue with, and the kitchen. Those are the 3 rooms I could not deal with. Anything else, I was like, whatever. But Oh my God, the bedroom.
The bedroom was a shit show. I had anxiety anytime I stepped into the bedroom. If you notice, the one bed in the entire room that was made every day was my bed. I would make my bed every morning. The minute Kevin got his ass out of the bed, if he was in it with me, I would make the bed around him. And he'd have his clothes all over the floor. I'd end up folding his clothes and putting them in a nice little stack on the floor for him. Like I was totally mother henning so that when I walked around the bed, I could see carpet. Because everywhere else you could just see clothes. It was a disaster.
I am not touching anybody's underwear. I'm sorry, but no. Not happening.
Yeah. I have to say, now wait, chat room has a question, and forgive me, fellow Canadian. I also love that both of you can't see me. Notice I'm smiling a lot when I say these things to both of you. Okay, so the chat room needs to understand, because you guys are like, Winnipeg, from the south, from the north, over here. Is that like an important thing in Canada, like where you are from in Canada? Kind of like the United States, if we were like, you're from the south or you're from the north, or is it kind of the same situation?
It kind of is for Johnny, because Johnny's kind of from a little province that doesn't really get much hype. I mean, I'm from Toronto, so like everyone knows, but like Manitoba's small and no one goes there because it's cold.
No, I mean, it's true. For us, it's a big deal. Like, if the house guest has come from Winnipeg, I mean, truly, I was the very first house guest from my province last season. So it took 3 seasons to get someone from Manitoba. Now we've got 2 this year that are from Winnipeg and one that auditioned in Winnipeg. So we're pretty proud of that. At the same time, we typically see a lot of representation from the bigger cities. And of course, they've got bigger populations, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, etc. But there's some criticism this year because we are seeing less people from, say, Calgary, which we had a big representation from last year in Alberta. And we're seeing more from smaller places like, for instance, Manitoba we're having with, 2 house guests and then a Northwestern Ontario person who, might as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, the geographic thing is important for some of us provinces who haven't had fair representation. So,
and like, you got to remember that there's only 10 provinces and 2 territories. So
3 territories.
Really, or 3. There was only 2 territories when I was in school. So, I mean, technically you could have representation from every single part of our country in the Big Brother house.
Absolutely.
So when you get like 6 people from Eastern Ontario and like you get nobody from the mid section, you're like, what the hell? Like, there was not one person from Manitoba that would do well in the house. Like, that's kind of where it comes from, because it's smaller. Like, you can't physically get 50 people in the Big Brother house, so it's harder for the states.
Rockstay in the chat room is saying, I'm just glad we have another guy from Ottawa.
Yes. Absolutely.
We'll get to him momentarily.
But
we're going to move on to Dallas, I think.
Okay, but wait, because I know that you both love her, or I think you both love her. Jax in the chat room says, and it was Sabrina that ruined it for all Montrealers.
Yeah, but we haven't Montreal too, and he's fucking gorgeous.
But we haven't had a Quebecer since those 2, so maybe. And she lives in like Mexico now, so.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone away, never to be.
She left the country. She's like, I'm done.
All right. Do you want to move on to Dallas?
Yes, move on to Dallas or Spencer, or what do we want to call him?
Yeah, Mini Spencer.
Mini Spencer.
Yes.
So here's Spencer 2.0. He's from St. John's, New Brunswick, so he is our only East Coast representation this year, which is a far cry from the 4 or 5 we've had every other year. He's a welder, a drinker apparently, because he would want to bring in a 60 of booze if he could. He could be douchey. He has the potential for douche. Even though he doesn't want to. I see your face, Eric.
Yeah, could be. What was his 3 words? Were life of the party, class clown, and upbeat. Like, he might as well just be like, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great.
And he wants to emulate your showman's Kevin, Johnny.
Yeah, and I mean, there are certain elements of Dallas that remind me a touch of Kevin. You can tell he's very much playing it up for the camera, and Kevin was very much like that. I mean, I didn't perceive that in the house because I was living with him and I saw the day in, day out Kevin, but the viewing audience and the people watching the episodes very much got to experience a very played up, animated version of Kevin. I think Dallas has that sense to him. I think when the camera's on, he knows there's those buzzwords he can say to really catch people's attention. Like the 60 ounce of booze. I feel like maybe in his regular everyday life, maybe he is a little bit of a boozer. He's a welder. So isn't it a little bit of a stereotype for people who work in the trades to kind of like to hit the booze after they're done their long days? So that's interesting. The other thing that he said that was rather interesting to me was the fact that he wants to go in there and try to win the first HOH, which is an interesting strategy because he says it's, gives them the opportunity to form alliances right off the hop. But it also puts a ginormous target on your back, and you're going to piss 2 people off, potentially 3, by having to nominate them. And if the veto gets used, a replacement. Is that truly a great idea? When you are going first into the house and trying to build those relationships? I don't think so. What does that tell me about him? He doesn't know a lot about Big Brother. He enjoyed Kevin. Yeah, Kevin was a likable, funny guy. But, does he know the show Big Brother? No. And to be honest with you, as a general comment, a lot of the house guests this year are not super fans. Not like my season was. There were so many of us. There's a lack of Big Brother knowledge in the house, which could make for a very interesting show or could be very dull when it comes to the gameplay. But I think it'll be the former rather than the latter.
Yes. The one thing he's not the same about Kevin with is he is a bromance over a showmance, unlike Kevin, who was all showmance over bromance. Now, what would have happened in your season if he had chosen you over Peely?
I don't think there was ever an option for him to choose me over Peely. I think really, truly, and this is reminiscing a touch, but had Kevin decided to try to flip the vote and send Sarah home the week I was evicted, Kevin would have been in a much better position heading into the triple eviction and having Cindy return into the house. Just a small comment to throw out there. A little reminiscing a bit, but that's besides the point. Water under the fridge.
So he doesn't want to be a douchebag. And I don't think, I know everyone's like, oh my God, what do you mean he's a douchebag? And he's got all these positive comments on his page or whatever. I'm not saying he's a douchebag. I'm saying there is a potential for him to be douchey. So if he goes in all, I'm the shit, then he could be douchey. If he goes in and just is fun and like a class clown, then no, he won't be douchey. But the potential for douche is there.
Going back to what you said, Johnny, about strategy, do you think that's maybe why, and we'll talk about the people at the end, do you think that may be why they're bringing in these wild cards as people who have played before, maybe to kind of, ramp up the strategy and the gameplay, or to hit the ground running? It takes like a returning player, I feel like, to get in there and really start playing hard and fast. Maybe that's what one of the wild card people will do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll talk more about the internationals when we get to the end, but having said that, I mean, Jace is truly the only house guest of the international ones to have played this format, this North American format of Big Brother. And Jace wasn't a great player. I mean, from one terrible player to another terrible player, Jace wasn't very good. He was pre-jury in both of his seasons that he was in. Very entertaining character, nonetheless. The other ones I don't know if they have anything to add when it comes to the strategy in the game, because it will be truly new for them as well. They're going to have to learn our format and our game and how it truly works. They're used to a popularity contest in their home versions, but we can talk more about that when we get to the end.
Okay. Don't clap at Jane in the chat room says Dallas is definitely going to be the first HOH. Do you guys think that he has potential of being the first HOH?
I don't know. Canada's first HOH is normally an endurance-y type, so he's a bit of a weird build for that to work.
You're calling him fat.
No, he's a muscle guy.
Fat.
No, muscle.
Dana, that's rude, Dana.
That's right. You know what? There's certainly, it depends truly what happens in the house. I mean, our first week we had everyone votes and everyone's HOH type thing. So who knows what Big Brother has in store for them? Certainly I think we're going to see more elements from the international Big Brothers creep their way into our Canadian version this year, especially with the international house guests. Maybe that might do Dallas well, especially if he wants the HOH. A lot of the other house guests are noted for saying they're going to throw a lot of competition. So if everyone's throwing it and Dallas truly wants it, yeah, maybe he could be the first HOH.
Yeah. At least he's got a strategy going in. I mean, half of them are like, I don't know, strategy? What strategy? Whatever, I'll just go in and have fun. So, right. I don't know. Let's move on to something more pretty. Let's move on to Jared.
Move on to Jared. Wait, just before you... Oh, yes, let's move on to Jared, but hold on, because we're going to get so far away from it, and I did love it. XOXO Feeders over on Twitter said, Christine is trying to usurp, I can never say that word, Shelley's role as the resident BB Cougar before, and I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I think, yes, you might be on to something there, XOXO Feeders. Okay, now on to my boyfriend. Go ahead, Jonah.
Okay, if there's hearts around his head, you didn't do it. I thought you would put hearts around his head. Look how pretty he is.
Gorgeous.
He's our second Manitoban, right?
Yes.
And when he gets out of the house, you're going to do something about the hair, right, Johnny?
Yes, definitely. I feel like Raul's going to take care of it in the house. We'll get to him soon, but I think Raul's going to get that hair taken care of.
He says he's not going to style his housemates because he doesn't want them to be prettier than him. But we'll move on to him. But I don't know if Raul will touch him. But yeah, you need to take him to a hairdresser like the second when he gets off the stage. You need to take him, okay?
Jared, I think how about if you bring scissors with me and just start cutting?
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. But he is polite, funny, and athletic. He did seem very polite, and he seems like a sweet kid. And he kind of, I don't know, he's like, to me, he's kind of like an Emmett Tom morphing, not so douchey, but like, he's a firefighter, which is super, super sexy. And, yeah, he can just stay. He can just sit in the corner. Like, he's kind of like this year's Bobby for me. Bobby, I was just like, Bobby could just sit in the corner, and as long as he just sits there and is fine. Like, Eric, I see your smile.
Look, I love him. I love that his attributes are polite, funny, and athletic. I didn't like that his strategy was, I'm just going to try not to get caught. Scheming. You might want to work that out a little more. But look, hey, if he's dumb, I love it. I like him hot and dumb. That's what I like. I like him hot and dumb. That's what I like. Johnny, what do you think of him?
So, again, a little bit of a bias because he's from Winnipeg. He's from my hometown. He's freaking gorgeous. Like, no one can deny that about him. He's the firefighter, the pipeline worker, 24. He, wants to be well-liked. He's a yes, ma'am, thank you, sir kind of guy. There are elements of him that remind me of Emmett for sure. Elements that remind me, I don't see the Tom Plant. I see more of connection to Zach, actually, from my season. He seems like a smart guy. He seems like an athletic guy. He seems like a guy that everyone is going to gravitate towards immediately. One, because of his good looks. Two, because he's, well-spoken and seems to be just a really nice guy. The girls are going to love him. So instantly, he's going to be left, right, and center for a showmance with one or multiple who are going to be vying for him. I think that is going to suit him well in the game. I think that he can easily cruise to the jury stage of the game just on being well-liked. And, just like Zach in my season, everyone wanted Zach in their alliance. I feel like with Jared, it will be very much the same. Everyone's going to want Jared in their alliance. And he will have a lot of information to work with. Now, whether Jared has what it takes to take that information and execute a well-played game is yet to be seen. Another interesting note about Jared, I'm actually meeting up with his best friend Dan tomorrow, who's running his Twitter account. So I'm going to get some more deets on Jared and what he's like in his everyday life. But
get him to follow me.
apparently he's a really popular guy as well, and people really like him. So I think that will do him and bode for him well in the House.
How come you haven't met him yet then, if he's so popular in Winnipeg? Where have you been hiding? You're not going to the right places.
Apparently not. And the one thing about Jared, though, is he works out in Alberta on the pipeline. So he's away for a couple weeks at a time, and then he's back, and he's away and back. So I don't know. So I can't find any common connections to him just yet. But, I mean, once I meet with this friend Dan, I'm going to dig a little further because Manitoba's small, and Winnipeg in particular is small. And so I feel like there's got to be a connection somewhere there.
Big Zilla in the chat room, and I'm not feeling this at all. Big Zilla says she's getting a little bit of Caleb 2.0 from Big Brother Canada. No, we all disagree. You got 3 X's on that one, Big Zilla. None of us agree on that. No, not at all. And yes, a lot of people are predicting Showmance and with Kelly. So you'll all see who Kelly is when we.
Kelsey, you mean, right?
I'm sure he'll have his pick of the litter.
Yes. Sorry. This season, you all have I thought there was a few of you guys with crazy names on your season. This season, Dana, you're blogging. I feel bad for you with these people's names.
It wasn't that bad. Like, when they first released the first 7, when I did my thing, the only name that, like, my spell check really disliked was Levita. And then we got the next 7. I'm like, oh, gee. And it's not even really that bad. It doesn't like Sherry. It's not actually that bad. Their last names are hell. Like, hell. But I never really have to write those. So, thank God. It's not too bad. Not too bad. But let's move on to Joel.
Who's not me, everybody, and stop saying it's me. It doesn't look anything like me.
They think Joel is you? He looks more like a Steve.
I don't know. People keep saying it was me. I don't see it at all.
I don't see it at all.
I'd be insulted, Eric, if I were you. Who are these people? You need to unfollow them ASAP.
Clearly. Wait. Big Zilla is saying if you watched his video, it's like he tried out for another show, but then just got put on to Big Brother Jared, she's referring to. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't really get that either. But all right, we're still disagreeing with you. Yeah. So, what do you guys think of Joel? What do you guys think of him?
Joel, he's an actor. He's 33 from Edmonton, I believe it is. And I don't know. He started his bio video with gibberish talk, and I didn't understand it. So I don't know. He's probably going to annoy the hell out of people. Wouldn't you be annoyed with him in the house, Johnny?
Yeah, he does. He's a little off-putting for me. He would probably annoy me a bit, for sure. Like, he's certainly the nerdy character for the season. I saw a really good picture of Steve, JP, Joel, and who else was there? But again, it's that archetype of the nerd. Whether I believe he's a nerd or not, I'm not buying it. I think they've stuck a bow tie on him and he's wearing his Argyle sweater, but I don't necessarily think he's the nerd. I don't think he is super brilliant or intelligent. I mean, he says himself he's not looking forward to the mental challenges. I mean, a lot of them aren't looking forward to them, but I don't know why this is the character he's been given. There's also a really great picture here where they compare him to Eugene from Greece. And I think that is spot on of what I see when I look at Joel. I see Eugene from Greece.
It's so true. But
I don't know what to think about him. He'll be interesting, and he says he struggled a lot growing up with anxiety, depression, and you know what? The Big Brother house is a crazy place to be, and even a person who has never struggled with things like anxiety or depression, that house amps that up 500%. I'm, not an anxious person in my everyday life. However, my anxiety and paranoia in the house was through the roof. I can't even imagine for someone who's predisposed for something like that, how they're going to react in that kind of environment. Do I see him being a social person and being able to interact with everyone and get along with them? I think he'll struggle. I think he he'll have a hard time forming those relationships and bonds with people. Could he be an early boot? Potentially. Unless he can somehow fit in with maybe some of the more offbeats, and there truly aren't very many this season. They're not, a lot of those types this year. So I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do. I also wonder if it's just a matter of him playing up that nerdy sort of stereotype in his video, and he's going to be a different person in the house once we get to know him. I'm not sure. I'm having a hard time reading him.
Flippin' Skittles said he looked like Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
But the guy, he says that he works out, he does cardio, he plays soccer, so he says he's going to be okay in the physical competitions. So, yeah, I don't know, was nerd the role you were given? Are you guys, I don't know if you can say or not, but are you given kind of roles, or are you allowed to say I want to be a nerd, or?
I mean, I think it's a well-known fact that in reality TV period, whether it's Survivor, Big Brother, or anything of the sort, there's sort of an archetype of a house guest or a player that gets cast. You've got your token gay guy. You've got your, the girl next door. You've got your jock. You've got your douchebag. You've got your, and he certainly falls into that archetype of the nerd, or that's what he's being set up to be. Whether he, like I said, whether he's in fact the nerd or not, I don't believe it. There's other house guests that I feel like are probably way more intelligent and nerdy than Joel is. So it's interesting. It's interesting that that's where they've sort of slotted him, and that's the sort of character he will play. Whether he'll be the nerd when it comes to being in the house or not, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he does and how they take him. So let's move on to Bachelorette number 1 for Jared, Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. Our blonde. Yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go. There she is. Going. She's all ready for her wedding, apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is. She's a flight attendant, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tender.
She's a flight attendant from out west. She has no strategy. She wants to bring her dog, and she's there for the adventure. That's all she wants.
She's positive and a free spirit and outgoing. That would annoy the shit out of me more than the nerdy guy.
I mean, there is one thing interesting to say to her. She has done quite a bit of traveling. She's been to Africa and Asia, and so she does have some life experience, even though she's, just 25. I think that's a good thing. Certainly there are a lot of young people in the house that haven't really lived and experienced life. I think Kelsey has been a little more independent in her life, so she will do better in the sort of situation that she's in. Being a flight attendant and a bartender, certainly those require, a big personality, a lot of interacting with people and socializing, and that's going to do well for her in the house. Yeah, she is definitely Bachelorette number 1 for a showmance, for Jared. She is gorgeous. She says, are there any challenges she fears? And she says the mental for sure is going to be something for her that she's, going to have a hard time with. And again, she's pretty much every house guest going in there is scared of the mental challenges, which is crazy because the mental challenges, I was like, oh yeah, the mental ones I've got down packed, and we ended up having all physical basically almost the entire time I was in there. So it'd be interesting to see, with all of them being scared of these mental challenges, that they throw all mental challenges at them for the first couple weeks just to really shake things up a bit. So.
You know what's terrifying with this? They're scared of mental challenges. They're all saying, oh, I'm not smart. What are we going to have to listen to for the next 10 weeks? What conversations are we going to be subjected to? I'm scared. I'm Justin Bieber, and I don't know what we're going to have to listen to. But she won't compromise herself to win. The one thing she has strategized about is her alliance, is she just wants to find people she clicks with and just basically have a group of friends. Kind of like what the diaper alliance was, really. It was just like, oh, we're friends, you know, we're all the same age. And I kind of, because there's like 4 or 5 21-year-olds, and then there's like a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old, a couple 22-year-olds. I've nicknamed the Brat Pack because that's just what they're going to be. They're all going to gravitate towards each other, and the few that aren't in there are just going to be off to the side. That's what I predict right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think the youngins are going to, and I mean, it was very much the same in my season. The younger people just tended to be able to relate more to each other. You know, she's 25 though, so she'll have a little bit of an easier time, say, than a Joel and a Christine from being able to relate with people just because they're a touch older. The other thing about Kelsey, and I mean, I just look at her and through her biopack, she's got a very positive sort of energy to her, right? Like very drawing, right? So if I were to see her in the house, I'd want to go up and talk to her. So I think that'll be a good thing for her. I think she can use that to her advantage because she doesn't have that sort of bitch face type look to her. She doesn't have the Neha face going on, you know, so.
Do you think she'll get lost in the pack? Because I saw this cute picture on Facebook. It's called the Triplet Twist, and it was her, Paige, and Maddie, who are basically all like the 3 young blondes that all kind of look alike. So like, either she'll get forgotten about and just be kind of dragged to the end, or it'll be like, oh, we already have one of these, we don't need this one, and maybe like be pushed out. Like, and that kind of goes for all 3 of them. Like, that could kind of work for all of them.
Yeah.
Because
like,
they all look the same, and they're all the same age.
3 blondes, they're all around the same age. I think all of them have elements of a little bit of Ashley from my season, kind of the girl next door. You know, it will truly be how well they can adapt once they get in, how well they're going to be at challenges, who they link up with, and what alliances they form. You know, she could go all the way to the end, you know, or get close to the end and then win herself out, potentially. I think any of the 3 twins or whatever we want to call them, the blonde bombshells, you know, have that potential to go really far just because of that. Sort of yet to be seen.
Yeah. Okay, now let's move on to Levita. This is an interesting name.
I love Levita. She's a passionate leader, and I love a passionate leader in a house of, 14 other people? That's my favorite kind of person to watch.
She is, she owns her own skincare line, and she is from out west, and she loves Britney. So the minute I saw that she loved Britney, I'm like, all right, you're mine. I have to love you. But, yeah, she's not into an all-girls alliance. She thinks they're foolish because she knows that girls just can't get along. And, yeah, she doesn't like to clean, but if you see her cleaning, it's gameplay. So, yeah, she's
Johnny,
she's.
Thoughts on Levita?
Yeah, you know what? I like Levita. You know, she again is the middle of the road, 25 years old. She seems very intelligent. The one thing that really stood out for me with Levita that I really like is she's the only one who very eloquently communicated some form of strategy. And her strategy is to make promises to as many people as possible and then fulfill those promises to help sort of, you know, build that rapport with them. And I think that's interesting. Is it going to work? I don't know. I mean, I was watching the Shield show, and one of the comments was Sabrina was very much like that. She promised to do people's hair and makeup every day, and she did do that. But did people trust Sabrina? No, they didn't. So is that going to work for Levita? I don't know. You know, she is intelligent, though, and I think that if she, you know, can situate herself right in a good alliance, and she can be smart about it, we might see her ringleading a little bit, and she might be the head of an alliance. So, you know, I think she can do well. I think she's going to be good in endurance-style challenges. She even says she, you know, that's going to be what her strong suit is. Tiny framed women tend to do very well in endurance historically in Big Brother, period. And this is certainly one of them, although we have quite a few tiny framed women who are probably going to do very well in endurance competitions. So I like her. I like that she said, you know, she liked Britney, so she liked that strong, independent woman. I definitely get that sense from her. You know, she's someone that I want to see more of. I don't 100% know that I'm going to love her yet. I just want to see how she is able to adapt once she gets into the house.
Yeah, I think the difference between a Levita and a Sabrina are Sabrina lied to everybody but the final, like her first 5 alliance. Like Levita says she wants to make promises to people, but she's going to be smart about the way she does it. Like if she has every intention of keeping you, she's just going to make it look like they convinced her to keep you. You know what I mean? So she's not breaking promises. She's not going back on word. She wants to keep her word, but that thing is, like, if you start making promises to too many people, eventually that's going to start getting around the house. So she has to be careful on how she does it, but the way she's doing it is like in a way different vein than Sabrina did. Like, yeah, they love Sabrina around so they could do her hair and makeup, but nobody wanted to be in alliance with her. So because she was a liar.
Thing for her, she needs to be careful, like you said. If she starts making too many promises to too many people to build that rapport and to, get them on their side, she could get caught, right? And I mean, for me in the house, someone who says they're going to do my hair or give me a manicure or whatever, great, whatever. But if someone tells me that they're going to vote to save me and they actually deliver on that, that's a different story. That's something that is a move that's going to make me trust someone, or maybe someone that comes to my defense when, you're getting in a heated argument with someone. That's someone who you want on your court. Can she do that to too many people? No, because you start doing that and people start comparing notes, your strategy is going to blow up pretty damn quickly. And that could happen. It just really depends on how she executes this strategy. How she's going to do in there. She's one that I kind of put as a little bit of a dark horse that I want to watch and see how she's able to adapt when she's in the house, because I think she potentially can do well, but at the same time she might, rub people the wrong way and might annoy people if they read into that too quickly.
Redheaded Michelle in the chat room says she must be in the majority because she liked her. You are not in the majority. I liked her as well. Although I don't understand why people are saying that's how Eric would play the game. Because of the cleaning? That's not how Eric would play the game. That is not how Eric would play the game. Okay, move on.
Move on to Maddie, Bachelorette number 2 for Jared. Little blonde Maddie. Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at the picture for a second.
Mm-hmm.
This cute, funny, looks so precious and beautiful and like, oh, sweet as pie, swears like a trucker. Like, the F word is her favorite word, and in her biopack, I think she used about 20 times in the first, 15 seconds. Like, the mouth on her does not match the face on her. It was bizarro. And her video did not match the written on her. Like, in the written, I was like, oh, she's like an Ashley type. Like, she'll be a little sassy, but like the girl next door. And then in her video, she's like, I'm mean, girls are mean, and I'm adding my hot head, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to control myself. I'm like, what just happened? Are you a Gemini? Because there's 2 of you here. It was really weird for me. I don't know about her.
Yeah, this is certainly one that I think is playing up to the character and playing up to the camera a bit and maybe saying what she thinks Big Brother and the audience might want to hear. I just don't know. If that truly is her, she is going to be in trouble to go very early in the game. That's going to rub people the wrong way. If she's a firecracker and, there have been some ties back to from season 1 Danielle. And certainly I can see that in look and in sort of personality. Danielle is said to have a little bit of a firecracker personality. I haven't really met her. So it'll truly be, like you said, there's a mismatch between what's written and what you see in the video. So I think she's playing it up a bit. She seems smart. How would you spend your $100K? And she says, I'd like to put a down payment on a condo. Well, one of my responses to how I wanted to spend my money, if I won it, was I wanted to pay off my mortgage. So that does show some maturity to her, even though she's just 21. So that's interesting. So yeah, there's a mismatch here with her, and I'm really interested to see if she'll be the firecracker, fiery, swears like a trucker in the house, or if she'll be this person that we kind of see a little more through the written aspect of her her bio here. So yeah, she's an interesting one. She definitely is potential for showmance big time. I think that, yeah, she's going to like Jared and he's going to have his pick. Yeah, she's interesting. We'll see what happens with her.
The only thing that concerns me with her is she says that she doesn't get along with girls. And girls that can't, I mean, most girls will call each other's eyes out at some point, but we can all kind of fake get along or get along for a little while. So, like, when you say that you can't get along with girls and you're going to be in a house with like 7 other girls, that's concerning to me. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And I think at the same time, if she gets herself in with an all guys alliance or a majority of guys, that might benefit her too. You know what I mean? Throw a bunch of meat shields in front of you and you're good to go type thing. So that might benefit her in one sense. And you know, it's very easy in the early weeks of the house to have that gender divide and the guys versus the girls type thing. And if she cozies up to the guys right at the get-go and is okay taking out a girl, the guys are going to be all about that. There's certainly a couple macho guys in there that I could definitely see that sort of bro alliance sort of going on, you know, throw it back to 4 Horsemen, Jace style, throw it back to, you know, the Brigade and things like that. It's very possible that that's going to happen this season with the characters we see in there. If she can get herself in, kind of like a Brittany with the Brigade, I mean, maybe she'll do very well because of that. So that's her only saving grace. Even if she's a little bit of a spitfire, can't get along with the girls, if she can get along with the guys and they win competitions, you know, they're basically effectively meat shields in front of her.
yeah, or it could go even the worst way. She could be like a Willow in the, what was that alliance's name last year?
Chop Shop.
The Chop Shop. Yeah, she could be the Willow in the Chop Shop, and that will just get her into trouble because Willow was the one that seemed to have to like go do all the guys' dirty work, and then she had a lot to make up for.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how she plays this. We'll see how she gets along with the girls, but I mean, she's definitely pretty. Now let's move on to my favorite. I call dibs on this guy. I don't care. The two of you can bugger off. He's mine, even though he's gay. Put up the picture of Mitchell, please.
Mitch.
I love him. He's my guy.
Yeah, I like Well, here, I'll let you go first, Dana. Why do you like him? Why is he your guy?
He just seems so cute and nice, and I've watched his YouTube videos, and he's like, they're funny, and he's got a strategy going in. Like, it's not a hardcore like set in stone strategy, but it's something that it's a building block that he knows how he wants to play the game, and he wants to be adaptable. He knows he's going to have to kind of go where the house goes, but you know, he's going to hide his profession because he's a YouTuber and a scientist, but he doesn't want to come off too smart. So he's going to like play that down. He's just the guy that every guy or every girl kind of wants to be around. He just seems nice, and he's had a boyfriend for 9 years, so Raul will be sad. But I don't know. Like, he just seems to be the one that's going in there the most prepared out of all of them. And look at him. Like, he's
Dana,
just so...
I will say, I will tell people what you told me on the phone.
Uh-oh.
You did not. What didn't you like about him, Dana? His voice. His voice. Didn't you say his voice was like nails on a chalkboard?
No.
I thought you did.
No.
I'll take it then. I didn't like his voice.
Well, I don't like your voice, Eric.
He doesn't sound like me. Johnny, what did you think of him?
I really like Mitchell. This guy, in a heartbeat, I'd marry him. Like, I'd have a ring at finale and propose to him on the stage if he didn't have a boyfriend of 9 years. He's super smart, super personable. I think he's adorable. I really love him. He is definitely the one that stands out for me the most, not just because he's cute and gay, but to me, he's the most likable person. And, you know, I think that's going to work well for him in the house. Like Dana said, has the potential to get along really well with the guys, has the potential to get along really well with the girls. I think he can situate himself pretty nicely in the middle and kind of cruise if possible. What he needs to worry about, and again, I don't mean to sound and toot my own horn, but it's maybe what I fell victim to, is that people realized pretty quickly that I was smart. I knew what was going on. I knew what was up. And because of that, I became an early target. And I think he very much has to worry about that as well. Very much like Anil from season 1, same idea. They realized that Anil was a really smart guy right off the hop, and that was his ultimate demise. And so I think that Mitch needs to be careful of that. He did mention he wants to hide his profession because, he doesn't want people to think like he's this big famous person. And I mean, he has a YouTube channel of 5 million, but some people I don't think people are going to recognize him. I don't think there's anyone that's going to know him or recognize him. I didn't recognize him when he said he was a YouTuber, and it didn't recall, but I have seen the videos before. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. And I have to say, and I'm going to give a shout out to his boyfriend. His boyfriend is incredibly adorable and cute in the videos too. And they are the cutest couple ever. So I'm super jealous. I messaged the boyfriend to let him know that I'm like mad jealous of him. But I think Mitch is going to do really great. I think he is right now my pick to win based on first impression. And I think for me, that's a bold statement. I don't normally like the gays in Big Brother. At all. I normally despise them, and I love Mitch. Love him.
See, and I love the gays in Big Brother. I don't know why I'm drawn to them, but I normally do love the gays in Big Brother. And for me, it's like he's gay, but he's not to the point where it's like off-putting, kind of like, kind of like a Gary who was like gay to like the 100th degree, where you're either going to get the people who love you, or you're going to get those macho guys who are going to be like, oh, I can't handle this, which is what's Raul's problem is probably going to be. So like he's that guy that can kind of play both sides. Like he can be good with the girls and great with the guys, and like not off-put anybody with like the over-the-top personality that would be like a Gary, or like I have a feeling what Raul's going to do when he goes in there with his I love tacos bit. But I don't think anyone's going to recognize him in the house because his videos are kind of geared to the younger kids. Like I think I saw one of them because I was looking up something for my son on YouTube, and that's how I found it. So I don't think like these 21-year-olds are going to be looking up ASAP Science for shits and giggles. So Mitch is my pick. Mitch is my pick. So now let's move on to my other pick for the girls, which is Paige. And I know Eric thinks she's sweet.
I think she's just cute as a button. She's like, oh, I'm so cute. Yeah, I don't really care for her. Sorry.
She's the only girl that's in there that is ready to play the game. She's been watching it since she was 10. For her 19th birthday, her parents got her a plane ticket to the casting call in Winnipeg. Like, she seems to be ready for it. She's a vet tech assistant. She's 19. She's the baby. And so, like, she's ready to backstab. She's ready to lie. She realizes this is a one-time opportunity, so she's going to go do it with a bang. She does amazing impressions. Her Greg impression just had me in stitches. I'm just like, anybody that can do Greg is fine by me because I love him. And she's going to use dog psychology on humans, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm sure
they should just start rubbing everybody's bellies. Maybe should just start rubbing everyone's bellies and call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think of her, Johnny?
Okay, so again, I have a little bit of a bias because I actually met Paige at the open auditions in Winnipeg. I actually spent some time talking to her because she stood out for me. Take a look on her official Big Brother Twitter handle, and there's a picture of Paige and I from the auditions together. She is super sweet, super down to earth. She's very small and tiny, very petite, but very personable, very likable. You could tell she was making friends in line. People seem to really like her. She is an outdoorsy girl, which I liked. And to me, she drove home the super fan because at the auditions, she showed up wearing a Judd grizzly bear shirt. And now a true super fan would only be able to tease that out. And to me, that says she knows Big Brother. She's only 19, so she's young. However, She's probably our only super fan, I would say, in the house that has watched more than just a few seasons. I really like that about her. She's definitely on my top 5 as of right now, probably because I met her a little bit and I have a little bit more insight than most people have. She's sweet, she's likable, potential for showmance as well, although she's young. I feel like you're robbing the cradle if you bark up Paige's tree. And her mom's going to be very upset if one of the boys go after her. But, I like her. She's going to be one of those people that could easily kind of cruise to that end sort of game and just kind of blend in the background, which is not a bad strategy to have. I like Paige a lot. And again, I have a little bit of a bias, but I think she's fun. I think she's likable. She can relate to the guys because she enjoys doing those things like trapping and hunting and outdoorsy type stuff. I like her.
Yep, I'm a Paige fan. I think she can go well. Now we're going to move on to our Ottawa boy, Philippe, who, I'm going to say it now, is douchey. Just douchey. He's Philippe. He is a music producer / DJ, and he is all about the manipulation, all about the lying. He'll use a girl to get to the end, and if he attacks on my page, I swear to God, I will be there with her parents to kill him myself. He wants a bros alliance. He's scared of the girls. He thinks the girls are going to take his mind off the game, but I see him finding some stupid girl to showmance with. I don't know which one yet, but he'll pick off the weak one, I think, and just use her and abuse her, and then she'll be hurt at the end of it, and it'll be interesting. I think if Kyle had stayed more than the 3 weeks, Kyle would have been him. That's my impression. But Kyle's a really sweet guy outside of the house. But he came off as that douchey girl player kind of person. So that's what I think of Philip.
Right.
Yeah, I very much agree with you with your sentiment about him being that little bit of the douchebag type thing. He's 21 from Ottawa. I lived in Ottawa for actually quite a period of time. That's where I went to university. So this is kind of like my second home for a little bit. He's going to be a very entertaining. And he knows for sure that, he's going to get caught up with a girl and it's just going to ruin him. And he's sorry whatever he might do with a girl in the house for his family and friends that might be watching. He's going to be a polarizing person. There are elements of Kyle, elements of Greg from my season in Philip that I can see. I think that unless he's in a dominating bros guys alliance, he is going to be potentially an early target, a pre-jury, very much like Kyle and Greg. I think he'll be entertaining. And I think that that's what I'm really, truly looking forward to from him, especially with the international people going into the mix. I can really see him and possibly Nikki if she ends up in there, or Veronica from Italy. That would be really interesting to see how he interacts with them. He'll be a great character to watch for sure.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't be douchey. I think, because he's kind of funny too. The way he said, the girls ruined his life, that was a little funny. So I'm if you can channel the funny and not do. Interesting to see how he fares in the house, because it's kind of a little harder on them. It was kind of harder on what's his face? Oh my God, what's his name?
Adele,
when he was in there. It depends on how devout he is. I know Adele had to pray like 5 times a day. So it'll be interesting to see how he's able to maneuver all of that within the confines of the game and stuff. But it'll also be interesting to watch because I kind of love watching other religions in action. So this, for me, will be interesting to watch happen. But I like him. He's one of my favorites. So I expect good things from Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey is a really interesting one for me. A little bit older, 26, that digital marketing, so he's got some life experience going on there. I like that he said his strategy, he doesn't really have an A to Z plan, and that the show really changes so much, so you can't set yourself up with a strategy because things are going to change in there. I think he's a fun, likable guy. People are going to gravitate towards him. The interesting thing that I noted in one of the interviews that I read is of all the players in the house, production noted that he is the person who knows Big Brother the least. He's watched the least amount of Big Brother out of everyone. And that's interesting for me. He's saying the right things in his bio pack and in the written portion. But will he be able to execute that in the house? I think he has the potential to do that. Another interesting note about Ramsey is that he's a lot of former house guests pick to win. So that's interesting to note too. If a lot of house guests are homing in on how well he can do, and I think I think he's one of those ones that can kind of be on the outside of a sort of dudes or bros alliance, and then really work the other side as well. There's been some reference to him possibly looking a little like Drake. Do I see it? Not really, but I think he's a good-looking guy. I think he's going to do well, and I really liked the sensitive, emotional piece, like you said, that we got in his video about his sister and the importance of his family. I can really connect with that, and the girls are really going to connect with that as well. So I think this guy is really set up to do very well. Another one, it's a dark horse that we could see sort of sneak his way all the way to the end. And I think Ramsey could potentially pull out a win. You know what I mean? Like, he's likable enough that he could get all the way there and just be like, oh, you know what? I just won Big Brother Canada 4. Woo! You know?
Let me just say this, because I see a lot of people in the chat room asking, yes, if you guys go to the website and go to yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan, right, Dana? And there's a blog there on how they can watch. I see a lot of comments in the chat room, like, how do we do it? Just go read that blog, and you'll know.
I'll go over it quickly at the end, too, on when and how and where and whatever.
Okay.
But let's move on to Raul. Raul is our second gay of the season, which is weird to have two. Like, there's only one other season where we've had two. And Raul is kind of like the polar opposite of the Mitchell. And I saw something. No, I'm not. I don't hate flamboyant gays. I loved Gary. I'm just saying that for some people, it could be a little like, for the really burly straight guys that are in that house, that might be a little weird for them. Because especially if they're not used to seeing it, like, it could be weird. So I'm not saying that's my personal thing. It's just it could rub people the wrong way.
Dana,
but he is, yes.
I would like to apologize. This is the one who you told me was annoying as shit on the phone.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Got it. Okay, I take it back now. Go ahead.
His first 10 seconds were about tacos and how much he loves tacos, and he's Mexican, so he's got to have his tacos, and there's just, and I don't even care that he's flamboyant. I love the flamboyant gays. I mean, look, I love Eric, but there's no substance to him. Like, for me, there's no strategy, there's no gameplay. He's just there to look pretty, and I have Jared for that. I don't need it from Raul. Like, I want to see him play the game. So that's where I am. He's a stylist from Calgary, is it?
Yeah.
And, he loves Kenny because Kenny was pretty. Like, that's where his mind is at. Everything is it pretty? Is it this? And he says that he knows when he's being annoying. He can tell when they're annoying, and he can straight it up, or he can, like, do whatever he needs to do to, like, not be annoying to whoever he's annoying with. But I don't know. Like,
okay,
this is Raul 24/7. Like, can he really not?
Okay, so. I mean, I want to hear what Johnny has to say about him.
So, as I said before, I typically don't like the gays in Big Brother. Raul is one of those ones that I think he is going to be either really well liked or hated. I just really don't know. In Canada, the over-the-top gays tend to be really well liked. Like, I mean, Gary Glitter is very well liked. And I would call Raul the odd, crazy, random, disgusting love child of Gary crossed with Peely. That's truly what I see him as. He is very over the top and full of himself, very much a narcissist, is all about looking pretty and all about pretty people. That could rub people the wrong way really quickly. He's going to have a hard time connecting with the guys, I think, especially, the Jareds, the Phillips, etc., the Dallas type thing. So I truly think, and he says that that's not the case. He says that he gets along well with straight guys and, has a lot of straight friends. And I mean, I believe him, but I just don't know in the house whether that's going to work for him. If he can tone himself down, not to say that's important to do. I mean, be yourself, be you, absolutely. But in a house where you live in such close confines with people, if you are annoying people 24/7 because you are so over the top, that's not going to work out well for you. I mean, look at Gary from season 1. He did get evicted, ended up going to jury, sitting for a couple weeks, and then on a random crazy twist ended up back in the house, right? So, I mean, this potentially could happen to Raul, could rub people the wrong way and end up going out the door. I feel like he's going to be a fun guy. I feel like I'll enjoy hanging out with Raul after the show. He's one of those ones I think I'm going to have a great time drinking with and gawking over all the hot guys with. Absolutely. But, there's no substance to him for me. To me, I could never have an intelligent conversation with him, unless it was about, fashion, makeup, and looking good. You know what I mean?
Now, Here's the interesting thing. What do you think the dynamic between him and Mitchell is going to be?
This is the interesting part. So I always love seeing how gays interact with each other. For me, I was hoping and truly praying that they throw another gay in there for me and that we'd have our first gay showmance. But of course, with Mitchell being in a 9-year relationship, that's not going to happen. I think Mitchell can get along with Raul. I don't necessarily know if this is the typical sort of guy that Mitchell would be BFF with, but I think they'll get along well together. I think Mitchell's going to be able to get along with just about everyone, including Raul. They should be interesting. I don't think that they'll be polarizing. I think for sure Raul is going to be gawking over Mitchell for sure, especially because he's gay. I would be if I was Raul in the house. I'd be all frickin' over Mitchell. I'd be wanting to sleep in the same bed as him. Like, he'd be my Kevy Webby. He'd be totally my little Mitchie. So,
Because I just remember that Adil and Gary didn't really get along in season 1.
And I have a feeling that that's not going to be the case just because of how well-rounded Mitchell is. I don't think he's going to allow that to happen. I think he knows better than to do that. He's very aware. So I can't see that happening. Yeah,
he's older. Mitchell's older. Like, Anil was only like 21 years old when he walked into the house. So, he got like cocky and whatever. Like, and he thought he had the game wrapped up. He was doing his thesis on the game. So he thought he had it. So that's where that went. But now we are going to move on to our last Canadian contestant. I think this is our first lesbian, isn't it? Sherry? I don't think we've had a lesbian on the show before.
I like her.
I like her too. She's sexy as hell, let me just say. But, she is gonna speak, she's a bilingual customer service agent. So the first, 15 seconds of her bio pack were actually in French. And I was like, wow, if you can just keep talking. And, she's gonna take it day by day and stay flexible. And she's gonna move within how the game moves. That's her strategy, is not just not have a strategy, but she just knows that the game is fluid and you have to kind of go with the way the house is moving and always keep on to how the house is moving and keep aware of where things are going. And so you're not blindsided by, oh, I guess we're voting this person out now kind of thing. So I like her. I like a Sherry.
I am sick and twisted, and the chat room is saying she is saying that she's bisexual, not a lesbian, just to be clear.
Well, she says she has a girlfriend. She says she has a girlfriend. So there's nowhere in it says she's bisexual, but she just says she has a girlfriend, so that's what I'm going with.
Well, Johnny, what are you going with?
But
I don't know whether
it doesn't matter. So
to me that's sort of irrelevant. I don't think that's super important. But I do really like her, like Dana. I think this is another one of them that is on the top of my list for people that I really like and that I think could do very well in this house. She's very aware. She's a little bit older, definitely has the life experience going on for her. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's fun. Yeah, I like her a lot. I like the fact that she gives me a very like free spirit, open kind of person, and I think that she'll get along very well with people because of that. You know, someone had said, and I think I read somewhere that they're like, oh, maybe she's a little too quirky and she might be the next to Nick. And it's like, no, there's no way I can compare a Nick and Sherry together. I think she's going to be smart. I think she could be at the head of an alliance for sure. Maybe one with a few girls, if that's even possible with some of the girl-hating chicks in the house this year. But I think there's possible she's going to be a leader, a little bit of a ringleader when it comes to what's up. I think she's a no bullshit kind of girl, and she'll call it out and be able to, not in the sense of like a Neha call it out and be polarizing type thing, but just in the sense that she's not gonna just be unaware of what's going on around her. She'll be very perceptive of what's going on. So I like her a lot, actually. She's another one of in my top 5-ish type thing.
I like her. And then we got our 4 wild cards. So we'll start with who do I have first? Who's first? Jace. Yeah. Oh God. Jace is our first from BBUS. He's season 5 and All Stars, and he's going to be like the corpse of the house if he gets in there. Like he's like 100 years old now. He played Big Brother 10 years ago. And no one liked him then. We don't like him now.
Excuse me, I liked him a lot back then. Like a lot. He was my first crush. He was my first reality TV crush, and I loved him. Now he looks like a throwback 90s rocker, what's his face. But back then, I was all about him.
But I've heard that he's only in the running because Mike Boogie backed out. So, and I'm
out there, yeah.
Not a fan of the Jace, and I have a feeling he's kind of like him and Veronica are like the Nate of season 2, where they were like in the war room, but no one ever gave them a second thought. Like they're just there for names, and we know who we really want in. So yeah, he's I don't know. I just remember he never liked to have his shirt on, and I'm like, you can keep that on. You're old now. And yeah, that's it. So,
what did you think of Jace? What did you think of Jace, Johnny?
Jace is entertaining, though. That was the thing. I mean, I was very much in the early years of Big Brother when I was in high school still. I was glued in my life for the summer. And he was entertaining. I mean, he was fun to watch. He had some crazy antics in the house. He was part of that 4 Horsemen Alliance, and although he may not have been my crush, Eric, I was crushing on Drew way back when. Yeah. But he was very much part of that, that 4 Horsemen Alliance. Yeah, I don't think Jace stands a shot in hell in getting in this house, not with the big personalities of Tim and Nikki. I think that this truly was a fill-in possibly for production when someone else fell through. The rumors Boogie. Also, there were some rumors out there that it could have been Ian Terry as well. That was rumored to have been the spot as well for the American. The other thing to note, though, is that the Americans, though, there are a lot of Americans out there, and if they all threw themselves behind Jace, they could very easily vote and get him into the house.
No, we cannot. No, we can't, because we're not allowed to vote, and it's very hard for us to vote unless we have a VPN.
What? I thought the vote is open international.
Well, it's not for anybody that we've talked to. I couldn't vote on my end. It wouldn't let me do it at all.
Really?
Chilltown in the chat room says they could vote. I know people, see, Yanisa is saying no, she couldn't vote. I had a ton of people the past 2 days telling me they couldn't vote. It wouldn't let them vote without a VPN.
Really? So I was told that the voting was open international because they wanted to allow the fan bases from the originating international house guest countries to vote for them. And I mean, if that is in fact the case that it's not open, then if Jace doesn't have the Americans voting for him, I don't think he stands a chance in hell anyways. But I mean, if the Americans can't vote, then I mean, he's in trouble.
Okay, then we got Nikki from Big Brother UK. She's played, according to her bio, she's played a total of 5 seasons of Big Brother. That's probably the most Big Brother that anybody's played ever. I haven't seen any Big Brother UK, so I don't really know her. I know she's known for her diary room tantrums, and she's a hothead, and she's really gonna, like, these little girls are gonna be peeing their pants. Like, she's gonna walk into this house and she's gonna go crazy on them, and they're gonna need diapers. Like, they're gonna need diapers. So, and she'll tell you she's a legend. Like, just ask her, she'll tell you. Like, she won't hold back. She knows she's a legend, and she's not shy about it. So she's gonna get in that house. There's no way. Like, there's no way.
Johnny.
Nikki's when she's going into the house, come hell or high water. She will be the most entertaining house guest this season. Period. End of story. With the exception of possibly Tim, who we'll talk about next or shortly. Nikki, I've never watched a full season of BBUK with her. However, I have seen episodes in her where she has her tantrums and meltdowns, and they are literally reality TV gold. She is a legend in the Big Brother franchise, period, end of story, and she will be a legend in the Big Brother Canada house. I am very excited to be able to meet her at finale because she is just a ball of crazy fun. She will be one of those people that give her alcohol, and oh my God, you're right. All of the girls in the house are going to be scared of her. I think some of the boys are even going to be scared of her, and she's going to go in there and not give a flying fuck about what people think about her. So yeah, she is going to be a fun one to watch.
Okay, exactly. And then the next one is Tim Dormer from BB Australia. He won in 2013, and Whitesnake called and they want their hair back. Like, what is happening with the guys and the hair? Like, I mean, he can talk all he wants. Like, I can just sit there and listen to that accent. Just talk to me all night long. Just talk to me, Tim. Like,
here's the thing, and it goes the same for Nikki. I've watched 1 or 2 Celebrity Big Brother UKs. I've never watched in Australia. I know of Tim and I know of Nikki, and that right there should just tell you they're going. I know that wasn't there something where he is the type of a player who will screw over the house for his own game because he knows it's what's best for his game. I like him. What I know of him, I like him, is what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing with Tim. Like, Tim was known for, like, his lying and manipulation of the house, and that got him nominated week after week after week, but he's also very charismatic and very charming, so he charmed the pants off of Australia, who was responsible for who went home. So I think he was on the block like 9 times his season, and every time he got off because the country loved him. The housemates wanted him gone.
Right.
But the country loved him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays in this format where he has to play his housemates just as much as he has to play the country, because we all know that Canada loves their voting. So we're probably going to play as much of a role in it as everybody else, like the people in the house. So it's going to be weird to see how he plays. But yeah, apparently he's a charmer. He's a radio DJ, so he knows how to, like, make people like him, and, like, I've got high hopes for him.
What do you think, Johnny?
Tim's going to be another one of those really entertaining people to watch. But like Dana said, the international format of Big Brother is so very different. It is truly a popularity contest. And you are playing into the hands of the audience. And the audience loves to watch drama, loves to watch you cause fights, loves to watch the shenanigans that go on. And certainly for Tim, that worked. It won him a season of Big Brother where his housemates basically nominated him every single week, and he was on the block, but never went home because of that popularity and that voting component. Now, can he adapt to the North American style of Big Brother? That's yet to be seen, and that I don't know. People are saying he is a very smart, intelligent guy, and they think that he can, but I don't know. His style of Big Brother is so very different, and because of that, it'll be interesting to see what happens. The other thing that needs to be noted about all these international players is Big Brother had to pay the big bucks to get them to come over to do this. And for me, it's crazy to think that two of them are just going to be put back on a plane and sent home. So I don't know. I don't know if necessarily the two that don't get voted in are done. I'd be surprised if they turned around and put them back on a plane and sent them home. However, because those two people might be Veronica and Jace, maybe they just, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's talk about Veronica. So when I heard that Veronica was going into the Big Brother house, I'm like, you mean Victoria from Big Brother 16? Like, because we always called her Veronica or like some different V name, but no, it's Veronica Graf from Big Brother Italy. And she is a sexy, sexy lady, and she was a Playboy bunny in Australia. She has a business degree, and she doesn't have a hope in hell with the voting here. Like, I mean, Nikki's going to get it all, but because nobody here, I think, watched Big Brother Australia, and she's going to be there, but I don't know.
I think the thing with Veronica, her English is very poor as well. She speaks very little English, and that is always going to be a challenge, especially in our format of the game where that social aspect of getting to know people and building relationships is so very important. Veronica is the kind of person that when she enters the room, her boobs enter first, and that is very much who she is. Certainly she's eye candy for some of the guys if you're into that sort of fake plastic type kind of look. She doesn't stand a chance in hell. She is, compared to Nikki, there's no contest as far as I'm concerned. So we're not seeing her in the house. There's no way.
And if some like weird coincidence happens that she does get in the house, I think she'll be a very quick like out the door kind of thing, because she's the one that will play the guys. The girls are going to hate her. The girls are not going to want to see her around. So I think even though we got a lot of girl on girl hate going on in the house this season, I think they would probably band together to get her the hell out. Okay. So like, that's just, it'll be interesting. When I first heard about the international, I mean, me and Johnny know we've been texting back and forth about this like for like a week now. We were both angry, spitting like nails about this whole thing because it was supposed to be coaches, and I'm like, I hate this idea, and we both hated it. I'm a little better now that it's just two of them and it's a guy and a girl, and they might be playing the game and who it is, but I really do wish these last two spots had gone to Canadians, because there are so many Canadians that are deserving of their chance to play. I think it's a little too early in the Big Brother, like it's too young in Big Brother Canada for us to be going to this weird kitschy like gimmick thing to get people to view, because we don't need it yet. People love the show as it is. But it is what it is.
However, I agree that, we were very outraged the possibility of there being coaches and them being international, and them coming from, when they said international, we didn't really know what that meant. And once we realized they were coming from various countries, and it was made very clear that they were going into the house to play, you reflect a little, and I mean, we have a Big Brother Canada 3 group chat where we all talk and discuss what our thoughts are. And interesting, of all people who brought it up and made a really good point about it was Greg. And Greg said that this really truly opens the doors for the Canadian franchise. We are opening our house up to international house guests. That leaves the potential for the international houses to open their doors to us. The intruder, the crossover house guests coming into other countries' houses is common in the international format of of Big Brother. You see it happen quite a bit, actually. And so I think that this is great for the Canadian franchise because it will open the doors for someone like Johnny maybe one day to end up in the Big Brother UK house. And I think that someone like me might have do a better job in a more popularity-based type Big Brother format. The other thing that's interesting to note is that the Canadian Big Brother franchise and format is a little different from the American one. I mean, it follows the same rules and it follows the same HOH power veto. It's kind of power struggle, but very much the same. However, we do incorporate a lot of components of international Big Brother in the sense of the public interaction, the voting. I mean, there was so much of it in my season of Baby Can 3, and there was in the first 2 seasons as well. So to me, this is just enhancing our franchise. I mean, we're making ourselves different. We're almost a hybrid version of Big Brother US and the international formats. So what's a little more? I don't see it being a bad thing. And certainly, there are some twists from the international Big Brother that would be great to see executed over here in our house. I mean, we've seen the divide of a house by rich and poor, where the house is literally, one side of the house is like a dungeon to live in, and the other side of the house is a lap of luxury. That would be really cool to see executed. We've also seen things where house guests get fake evicted, go into secret rooms, secret houses, and then re-enter the game later. That is also a very interesting component to the international Big Brothers. All interesting things that we could potentially see here in Canada as well. I have a feeling, and I'm going to put money on it, that we are going to see components of international Big Brothers in our house this year, not just these wild cards as twists. I think we're going to see things like I'm mentioning make their way into the game this year, because how else do we incorporate the internationals in? How else do we give them elements of familiarity to the Big Brother game to them? And it's by incorporating some of those twists from the international versions. Mark my words, we will see it. I think we'll even see it on night one.
Well,
I think so too, because, I mean, for the first year, Big Brother Canada has issued official Twitter handles to all of their house guests. So I'm sure that's going to be incorporated some way, which was, thank you, Big Brother, because it was so much easier to follow them and stuff like that. So we're going to have to start wrapping this up because it's like almost 2 hours now, but.
Well, let me say this first. On behalf of the United States, I apologize. We don't like to open doors. We like to close doors. That is why we won't invite any of you to play our Big Brother. And it's not me. I mean, some other network that I might know in America doesn't seem to be friendly and want to play ball with the other people. So on behalf of them, I apologize, because I would love to see it get mixed up a little bit. I would love to. Johnny, who do you say right now is your pick to win the game?
Hands down, right now, based on the bios, first impressions, and what I've seen so far, Mitch is my pick to win.
Okay, Mitch is your pick to win, and who do you think, and we're writing this down, and we're going to see what happens, and who do you think will be the first to go?
First to go, I'm going to go with Christine, unfortunately. I think she's going to have a hard time gelling with the other people. The age factor is going to be huge with a very young cast this year. She is the biggest one at risk to go right off the hop.
Interesting. Okay, Dana, I mean, you let me know how you want to do this.
Our draft, right?
Do we want to let Johnny go? Well, I don't know if you have time, Johnny, and you want to be part of our draft, or I feel like we've kept you a really long time. If you have to go, you can go. It's totally up to you.
No, I'm in on this draft. Let's do this.
Okay, then let me say this. I'm glad you said that. I didn't want to pressure you. Now I will fill you in on the rest of the story. John Richardson is getting his hair done. So he is unable to do his draft picks. So no pressure, Johnny. You're picking for John. And I mean, it can also be your draft picks, but as far as the reality recaps and the rest of the season goes, John is going to have to stick with whatever you pick.
I like it.
So that being said, you're picking last. And Dana, girls go first. So who do you want first?
Mitchell. I'm picking Mitchell first.
Mitch, I hate you.
You did not.
I would have let you have Mitchell because I'm nice like that. See, I'm playing the game outside the house. Well, guess what? I'm taking Jared because he's hot.
Of course you are.
Right.
My pick is going to be Cassandra.
Ooh, Cassandra. I did not see that. By the way, chat room, I'm going to come back on probably this weekend in chat room. I want to know who you guys are picking too. All right, Dana, go ahead.
Paige.
All right, I'm taking Joel.
I'm going to go with Ramsey.
Oh, didn't. I'm going to go Levita.
Good. Oh my God. No one said Philippe yet, right?
Yeah, no.
No, okay, good. I'm taking Philippe. I'm building a hot team. With Joel.
Team hot.
Go with Sherry.
Let me go with 6.
I should have been crossing them out.
I know. Sorry, this is going to be a little loud. Music. Christine. I'll go Christine.
Okay. I'm going to take Dallas. Nobody said Dallas, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Has someone picked Kelsey yet?
Nope.
I'll take Kelsey.
Okay, so now that's 12. So we got 2 more, and then we've got the draft picks. So that's going to be weird. So I will take, who do we have left? We got Maddie and I think Eric's taking all the boys.
Yeah,
so we have Maddie, Joel, and Christine left?
No, Christine's gone. He's got Joel.
Yeah, I think it's just Maddie left. Why am I getting this wrong?
Maddie, Raul.
Oh, I'm taking Maddie.
Okay, then I'll take Raul.
And then you can have the draft picks. We'll let you have both the draft picks. How about that?
We'll give you both drafts, Johnny. You can have both. Well, they're going to win. The drafts are staying.
Nationals?
Yeah. We're going to give you both.
Ian Tim?
Yeah. Well, which one would you pick if you could only pick one?
If I could only pick one, I take Tim.
Okay.
I had to pick one.
All right, I think we should only give him one. We don't want to handicap John, Dana. This is how about this, Dana? I got it. For this show's purposes, Johnny gets them, but for rubbing it in John's face later, who do you want, Dana? Tim or Nikki?
Nikki.
Damn it, me too. Fine, I'll take Tim.
We can both have Nikki.
No, we have to keep it. Everyone gets to everyone. You're going to have to fill me in on who said what, because I'll never remember, Dana. I will never remember.
I got it written down here. So I have Nikki. You have Tim.
Got it. Johnny, a lot of people want to know, but I'm protecting you when you can't answer. Maybe in like a year or so, Johnny can come back. There's a lot of questions in the chat room of people want to know what the first days in the house were like, what they didn't get to see. You're not allowed to answer that. I'm telling you, you're not. There's a lot of questions like that, but no, Johnny can't answer those, guys. Not yet. We're sorry. You love him. You want him to be able to come back, so we want to see him play again. So he can't answer those questions right now.
Exactly. We're protecting Johnny from himself here.
Yes. So is there anything that you're really looking forward to see this season, Johnny? Like, is there anything that you hope happens, or, aside from what you've already said, is there something you're like, if I could wave my wand, I would put this kind of a competition in, or this kind of a twist in?
Yeah. I still want to see staples of Big Brother Canada. I don't want to see those disappear. I want to see Marsha the Moose make a bigger return than just getting run over by a car like last year. I want to see the tasks still happening. I think those are fun. They had an interesting component in there. The tasks are very much an international piece as well. That's from the international format. That's the norm. I want to see that still. I want to continue to see those staples, and I want to see, like I said before, those things from the international version make their way as twists into our house. That's what I want to see.
Well, brilliant. Johnny, tell the people where they can find you. Tell the people where they can find you on social media. I'm sure all season long tweeting Big Brother Canada along with us. Where can everybody find you on social media?
So you guys can find me on Twitter at Colatruglio, and the spelling is on the bottom of the little window right under me right now. Follow me. I love tweeting about Big Brother. I watch the live feeds, so I will be tweeting about that as well. I have lots to say. I'm pretty opinionated. I can be funny at times. I can be an asshole at times. So watch. I'm fun to follow.
Dana,
yes.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me at dgoodyear1975 on Twitter. I'm there all the time. And for Big Brother Canada, you can watch it on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Sundays at 7, Wednesdays at 9, and Thursdays at 8, just to make it confusing. All instructions for our American international viewers on how to watch it, like with the VPNs and all that good stuff. And when After Dark starts and when feeds are turned on is all at yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan under our When, Where, How to Watch blog. And yeah, we will be here all season with interviews and so much good stuff.
Yes.
And Johnny will be back at some point, I'm sure.
Oh, I will be back. Don't you guys worry. I have lots more to say. Don't you worry.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Yesenia.
I'm looking forward to it being back when we have, like, actual strategy and things, and we don't have to, like, go through 17 people, and we can really, like, have real discussions of the game. That's what I am definitely looking forward to. We do hope you will come back, Johnny. Like Dana said, check everything out on our website, and if you are watching this back on YouTube, you can click on those buttons, thumbs up and subscribe. All Johnny's stuff will be under this video in YouTube. Same thing with iTunes. And leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review, and become a patron if you want to help support our shows. That's all. We all love you guys. We will all see you again real soon. Follow us on social media. I'll be back this weekend, and I'm sure Dana will too. We'll be around. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
everyone.
Bye. Bye, and